Yes, my friends, the world doesn't spin, it capsizes. The Miami Dolphins are about to do the impossible this season. The atmosphere is heated behind the scenes, and it seems like the Dolphins have finally woken up. Better late than never, right? I'll explain what's going on. Before I continue, I want to ask you a question. Would you really like to see the Dolphins make the playoffs this season? If so, hit that like button hard. And if possible, write something like, "Go Dolphins! I believe in you." I know it's challenging to continue supporting, even after everything that's happened this year. But true fans are like that. Whether we're happy or sad, we'll keep supporting. But let's go. The narrative surrounding this team has changed drastically in the last few weeks, and it all centers on one player, Tua Tagovailoa. He's not just playing good football, he's playing exceptional football, and his recent performance against the Jets is a perfect example. Throwing for 331 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a game-winning overtime throw, Tua showed why he's the centerpiece of this team's resurgence. But it's not just about one game. The Dolphins have won 4 of their last 5, putting them firmly in the conversation for a playoff spot. They're currently tied with the Colts at 6-7 and just 2 games behind the Denver Broncos and Los Angeles Chargers, who both sit at 8-5. It's a tough hill to climb, but this team is built to compete, and the remaining schedule could give them the edge they need. Let's take a closer look at Tua's evolution this season. Head coach Mike Mcdaniel recently said something that sums up Tua's growth perfectly. "I don't think this game happened 2 years ago. Tua continues to get better. It's a lot of work, and all his work is paying off." McDaniel went on to highlight not only Tua's natural talent, but his ability to lead and elevate those around him. This is echoed by his teammates, with wide receiver Jalen Waddle praising Tua's leadership and his ability to keep the team disciplined, especially in crunch time. And Tua's performance under pressure is undeniable. On that game-winning drive against the Jets, he went 6-for-7, capped by an incredibly tough throw to tight end Jonnu Smith. It's these moments that are galvanizing the team, even as star receivers like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are having quieter seasons compared to their usual standards. The respect Tua commands is clear. These players, often known for demanding the spotlight, are rallying behind their quarterback. So, how does the Dolphins' schedule stack up? First up, they head to Houston, which feels like a winnable game if the team maintains its current form. After that, they host the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this could go either way. If the 49ers are still fighting for playoff contention, expect a battle. If they're out of the race, this game could swing in Miami's favor. The season wraps up with road games against Cleveland and New York. While tough, these matchups may actually help the Dolphins by keeping them sharp for a potential playoff push. But let's not forget the competition. Denver, one of the teams Miami is chasing, has a brutal closing schedule. They face the Colts, Chargers, Bengals, and Chiefs. Even if they manage a win against Indianapolis, it's not far-fetched to see them finishing 2-2 or even 1-3 over their last 4 games. Meanwhile, the Chargers, though slightly more stable, have their own challenges. They host Tampa Bay and Denver, 2 tricky games, and must also travel to Las Vegas, a venue that's historically been a nightmare for them. This means that if the Dolphins can win out, yes, that means a perfect 4-0 to close the season, they have a real shot at leapfrogging the Broncos or Chargers. It's a daunting task, but not impossible. Even a 3-1 finish could keep Miami in the mix, though their margin for error would be razor thin. The belief in this team is palpable. Despite earlier inconsistencies, they've shown they can adapt and overcome. Players are stepping up, the coaching staff is hitting the right notes, and the defense, while not dominant, is holding its own. What's more, Miami's future looks bright regardless of how this season ends. A third-place finish in their division could set them up with a favorable schedule next year, giving them another chance to build on what they've accomplished. Let's hear from you, the fans. Do you think the Dolphins can pull off this incredible turnaround and make the playoffs? What do you think about Tua's recent performances and his role in this resurgence? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation going. The path to the playoffs is narrow, but the Dolphins' confidence is unmistakable. The team's recent success is not just about results, it's about how they're achieving them. Against the Jets, Tua Tagovailoa displayed more than just skill. He showed poise, leadership, and a deep understanding of the moment. His ability to stay calm under pressure and deliver when it matters most has elevated the entire squad. Players like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill have openly praised Tua's impact, which is no small thing considering the high standards these star receivers hold themselves to. What's particularly fascinating is the way Tua has adapted his game. He's not just relying on his primary targets, he's spreading the ball effectively, including critical passes to Jonnu Smith, who has become a key part of the offense. This versatility makes the Dolphins harder to defend and adds layers to their offensive strategy. It's no wonder coach Mike McDaniel and other players have spoken so highly of Tua's leadership. When your quarterback is not only executing plays but also inspiring teammates teammates on both sides of the ball, you have a foundation for success. The schedule is another critical piece of the puzzle. Miami's next game against Houston could set the tone for the remainder of the season. A win here would build momentum and keep their playoff hopes alive. The following matchup against the San Francisco 49ers looms large, as it could be a make-or-break game depending on the 49ers' own playoff aspirations. But even with tough games ahead, the Dolphins' recent performances suggest they're up for the challenge. Looking beyond Miami's games, the fates of the Broncos, Chargers, and Colts will play a huge role in shaping the playoff picture. Denver, despite their current standing, has one of the hardest remaining schedules in the league. If the Broncos stumble and their upcoming games against Cincinnati, Kansas City, and the Chargers make that a strong possibility, the door could open for the Dolphins. The Chargers also face potential pitfalls, with a trip to Las Vegas standing out as a historically difficult game for them. As for the Colts, their relatively easier schedule could be problematic for Miami, but their inconsistency this season offers hope. The Dolphins' playoff chances hinge on one key factor: going undefeated in their last 4 games. It's a tall order, but this team has shown it can rise to the occasion. Even if they fall short, there's a lot to be optimistic about. A third-place finish in the AFC East could result in a more manageable schedule next year, which would give Miami another opportunity to take the next step. This season is not just about wins and losses, it's about laying the groundwork for sustained success. The energy around this team is infectious. Fans, players, and coaches alike can feel that something special is happening. Tua Tagovailoa's growth, combined with a resilient team effort, has put the Dolphins in a position that many doubted they could reach. The challenge is far from over, but if there's one thing this team has shown, it's that they thrive under pressure. Sunday's matchup against the New York Jets highlighted both the strengths and vulnerabilities of the Miami Dolphins defense, with cornerback Kendall Fuller pulling no punches in his assessment of the team's performance. Speaking after the game, Fuller emphasized the need for improvement, especially from the secondary, which is often considered one of Miami's strongest assets. Fuller's candid remarks resonate with fans. There are days when you look at the film, and you just know you could have done better. This wasn't just reflective self-criticism, it was a wake-up call for a unit that must find its footing as the playoffs draw near. The game against the Jets was an unexpected struggle for Miami's secondary, a group that typically sets the tone for the defense. Aaron Rodgers, who hadn't posted a 300-yard game all season, looked like his vintage Packers self, dissecting Miami's coverage with precision. According to Pro Football Focus, PFF, the Dolphins' top 3 corners, Kader Kohou, Jalen Ramsey, and Kendall Fuller, all posted coverage grades below 55, underscoring a rough outing. Ramsey, the team's star cornerback, was particularly targeted, allowing 146 yards, a season high for him. As he put it, "It always feels good to correct things and know you need to get things fixed after a win, but we've got to be better, period." So, what do you think, Dolphins Nation? Can Miami finish strong and secure a playoff spot? How do you see the team's recent performance shaping their future, even if they fall short this season? Let's keep the conversation alive in the comments, and as always, fins up!